Good afternoon, happy people. This episode, something a little bit different. I've been asked a lot in the comments, how do I go about planning my trips and my routes and what roads we go on when we go away on one of our holiday trips. So on this episode I want to show you how I construct these prompt sheets. It's on the top of my tank bag that a lot of you have noticed as we're riding along. I mean, when I first started doing these motor vlogs, I didn't know where I was, what I was looking at or anything. It wasn't very good. So for my own information and for the viewers, yourselves watching, I now like to have a look at, before I go, what we're passing, what we're looking at, so I can tell you what it is, and also for what roads that we're on. So if you're interested in seeing the 3 different types of sources that I use to plan my routes, and also the way that I interact with Google Earth with Basecamp, to once I've constructed these routes, to just check that these roads are suitable for riding on, and also looking for different points of interest on the Google Earth map. Stick around and I'll show you how I'll go about it. So this is one of my prompt sheets, look, that I'm talking about, and these are what I'm going to show you how I put together a bit later on in this episode. First I'm going to show you the different sources that I use to actually plan my routes. But yeah, it's just a map reading other thing. That's, I've got my SW Mortec Dare Pack, and then this is just like the map holder actually. It just toggles, 2 toggles at the front, and then Velcro at the front onto that little pad there. Boom. And I sit and read off the information as I'm going along. So let's get to it and see how I put the routes together. So source 1 for planning my routes, which is not rocket science, and I think you'll all be aware of this one. The atlas. Yeah, this is just the road atlas one. There's cheap road atlases from Pound Shop locally, out of date like, but they've still got all the roads. And this is from the North Coast 500 that Decker myself did a few years ago. I just use a highlighter pen just to highlight the whole route that we're going to be doing, and then just plot it on Garmin Basecamp and transfer it across. So that's the first very easy way to plot a route that we all know anyway. Moving on to the next one. Straightforward enough, that one, isn't it? The second one, and this is a great source of routes, it's Simon Weir's Biker's Britain. What a fantastic book this is. I'll just show you a few things inside it. So this is the second source that I use, and this is an absolutely brilliant book. It's by Simon Weir, and it's Biker's Britain. This is the second edition that I've got. As you can see, it's got routes in England, Wales, Scotland, and also crossing the country in numerous ways. There's an actual foreword by Charlie Borman, who's famous for the Long Way Round series with Ewan McGregor, and also there's an introduction by Simon Weir himself. Then he gets on to tips about how to use this book. There's also a map legend to show you what all the different things and signs mean on the maps that he's showing. This is how each country starts. This is the England one. As you can see, there's 44 rides. And here is the Scotland section. And on page 196, there's a route called Whiskey Galore. It's the 73rd ride that is put in this book. And that's the page I'm going to go to now, because that's Nairn, where we're going to be based in Scotland this year on one of our tours. So yeah, this is a tour that's very close to where we're going to be staying in Nairns in Scotland later on this year. It's called the Whiskey Galore route. Now it starts off by giving you a bit of information on what you're going to be riding through and all about the trip, which is brilliant. Then below that it tells you the distance of it, and to allow 5 hours. So it tells you the distance is going to be 170 miles, allow 5 hours for this trip. Then it gives a route description, which is all turn by turn, but you've also got the map on this side, so it shows you the exact map of the route that you want to be doing, which you can also plot in Basecamp, which I'm going to show you already done later when I'm interacting with Google Earth. And also at the bottom here in this sort of darkened section, it says what to see and do, and there's 3 headings: distilleries, Rockpool Cafe and Duff House in Banff. So yeah, a fantastic source of routes, and I would recommend this book to everybody. It really is a brilliant book. Like I say, you'll find a route somewhere close to where you live, or if not, when you're going touring somewhere near whereabouts you're going to be touring. It also does a section called Crossing the Country, which includes south to north, west to east, southwest to northeast, and Land's End to John O'Groats, part 1 and part 2. There's also the North Coast 500 in this book as well. So if you fancy doing any of those, they're included in the book. Right then guys, this is a great source of some fantastic routes anywhere in the world basically. It's at bestbikingroads.com, as you can see up here, so make a note of the web address. I just go into the browse routes section here. If you click on that, it then opens up Europe, which it says there's 7,174 motorcycle rides. There's America, Oceania, Asia, Africa. There's complete trips that you can have a look at. But for now, just for an example, we'll go on to the Europe, click on there. It then brings up all the countries of Europe on the right hand side. So be it wherever you be going, I mean, if you're going in Belgium, there's 160 motorcycle rides there. France, 600 and odd. Germany, 600 and odd. But we'll just go to the United Kingdom, which is at the bottom, obviously, under U. Click United Kingdom. So click the load map button. That's now loading 1,794 routes in the map section when it pops up. There you go. Now the map key tells you here that each red route, red here look, is an excellent route. Blue a good, and purple other recommended. So now we've brought the map up of Great Britain. You can go full screen. Now we have the whole of the British Isles, and look at all those routes, blue, purple and red. Now to zoom in, you can go down to this bottom right hand corner and press the plus and minus keys to zoom in and zoom out. Or if you've got a scroll wheel like I have, I just hold the control key down and zoom in with my scroll wheel. So this year, one of our tours is going to be from Nairn in Scotland, which is up here, look. Zoom into there, Nairn. Now if you go on a red line near Nairn and wait while you've got the hand tool that you grab to move the map around, but if you go onto an actual route until the hand becomes a pointer and left click, it'll tell you what that route is. Now this route, as you can see from the info box that's popped up, is the Lossy Loop, and it tells you what it goes through, all the different places that it goes through, and it tells you the length of it, which is 137 miles. So that would be a nice little route for when we're based in Nairn to go on. So to see this particular route, you go on where it's highlighted at the top line in faint blue, and click anywhere on that once with the left mouse key, and boom. And this one is called the Lossy Loop. Now it gives you a star ratings for each route that you choose, each particular route, and it goes through these titles on the left hand side. So corners, and these are stars out of 5. So corners, it's given a 5 out of 5, excellent. Straights, a 3 out of 5. Scenery, 5 out of 5, so obviously it's a fantastic scenic route. The road surface is a 4 out of 5, so very good roads. Visibility, 5 out of 5. Also tells you the police presence, 3 out of 5, and hazards, 3 out of 5. So that gives you an indication as soon as you come onto this, the star ratings of all the different corners, straights, scenery and things like that. To actually see it, you click on the load map button again. So if we just click on the load map button, full screen, and you can see that is the route. Again, you can zoom in with the plus and minus. I'll do it with the plus and minus things at the bottom. But that's the route. So we're going to be based in Nairn here. So a quick little ride up the A96 and we're on this road. And that's a lovely 137 mile route that we can do while we are in Nairn. So if we exit the full screen, now that we've had a look at it and think, yeah, that could be quite a nice route. Zoom back out and just show it again. like I say, each route you can download. So if you highlight the download GPX, left click on it, and you'll see in that bottom left hand corner, that's just downloaded the Lossy Loop GPX file. Now it's showing a Garmin Basecamp GPX file logo here because I've got Garmin Basecamp loaded. You guys can also download it, like I say, with the link that I've left in the description for free, Garmin Basecamp, or you'll probably already have it. But now I can double click that with the left button and it should open up in my Garmin Basecamp. So double click, Garmin Basecamp opens up, and boom, there's the route in Garmin Basecamp, downloaded from bestbikingroads.com. Now as you can see, most of them seem to come out as tracks when they're in grey, and when they're just like the two footsteps on the left hand side here, that's indicating that in Garmin Basecamp it's recognising it as a track. This isn't a problem, as all you need to do is highlight the Lossy Loop track, right click with your mouse, and when this context menu opens up, navigate down to where it says create route from the selected track. If you click on that, left click, that is now calculating the loop around this track. Now I will do like a little time lapse because sometimes, especially on a route that's 130 odd miles long, it can take a few minutes. So as you can see, the green bar is just starting. So we'll fast forward now to the end. There you go, the Lossy Loop. Now there's a gap at the top here, but you can alter that in Garmin Basecamp, no problem, to make it a loop. And obviously I will have to also navigate from Nairn, where we're based, across this A96 to it. But then we'll go down here, all the way around, and enjoy a lovely day's riding around that route that we've just downloaded from bestbikingroads.com. Right, so now I've got a completed route for one of the days when we're in Nairn, and this is the Whiskey Galore route out of the book, 189 miles. So this is where I start preparing my prompt sheets, or crib sheets as some people call them. But what I do, I make it not live again by clicking away from it, so it's just a faint line. And then to back up for my Sat Nav while we're away, I like to go into each junction, like here for instance, from the A939 we turn left onto the A940. If I hover my hand over that route, in the brackets you can see that that's saying 15.9 miles. So I'll write on the prompt sheet 15.9 miles, turn left onto the A940. So if I do have Sat Nav failure, I zoom out, go to the next turning, which is up here I believe in fours. Yeah, from the A940, go around the circle, take the third exit onto the B9011, and as you can see in the brackets again, that would be 29.9 miles. So I reset my tripometer to 0 for each trip that we do, and obviously after 29.9 miles, if my sat nav had failed, I'd be knowing that I'd have to turn right on that circle. And again here, that'd be 30.2 miles. Turn right onto the B9010. So I'll do this for all the route. And then it's the other reason that I do it as well, so that it's on the prompt sheet that rides on my tank bag with us, is for when you guys are watching, I can say we're on this road, we're on that road. And I'm not a big lover of people who do motovlogs and you're riding along on different roads thinking that's lovely and that's great, but you don't even know where they are or what roads they're on. So this way that I do that gives you the information to what road that I'm on while we're actually riding the route. So that's the first thing I do with my prompt sheet. I'll show you one of my prompt sheets now. I'll put one on the screen. In fact, I'll do the Whiskey Galore one, the first page, and show you exactly what's showing on it so that you know what I'm talking about. So there you go. So now on the prompt sheet I do have a turn by turn and the mileage where each turn is for the whole route. So if I do have sat nav failure, I'm sorted all the way around. Now the next thing that I do, and this is a little trick that you may or you may not know,
But normally when you've done a GPX file, you would go into File, Export, and you would export it to wherever you want to save it. So export Whiskey Galore as a GPX file. So I'm now saving that. If I click save, that is now saved in this folder, the Whiskey Galore 189 miles GPX file. Now I can give that to anybody who has a sat nav. Any friends that are riding with me that have got sat navs, give it to them and they can put it on the sat nav. So that's what you do with the actual GPX file. But a little trick that I've learned is that you can also go onto File, Export the Whiskey Galore tour again. But instead of the GPX format here, if you drop the context menu down, there's different formats that you can save it in. Now if you save it in the KML one, KML 2.2 document, version 2, and then in brackets it's got the .kml file. The KML file is actually a Google Earth file. So if I click on there and save it as the Whiskey Galore KML, that's now exported this whole route, but it's saved it as a KML file. Now if you've got Google Earth installed, which you should have because it's free, you can open this up by double clicking on it. Google Earth just opened, look. And as you see, as it zooms in, boom, that's my route, but in Google Earth. So you can actually now, I'll just do it so we're looking directly down on it, but you can actually now investigate your whole route through Google Earth, which is a fantastic thing. So for instance, I know for a fact that on the book it says that in Cullen, this is Cullen here, I can zoom right in, it suggests that you stop at the square, and there's a cafe there, which is actually highlighted here, the Rockpool Cafe look. It says in the actual Bikers Britain book that the Rockpool Cafe is highly recommended and a great place to stop in this square. So what you can do, you can get the man, left click and hold him, but just drop him down, and it actually drops you down into the live view of where you're going to be riding. Now this is a great help if you want to have a look round somewhere to see what's there. I mean here, I would have a look to see what that would be alright for parking, and obviously we'll be able to get parked here. Now this is the Rockpool Cafe, just here look, that they suggest. But I've also had a little walk round earlier, and if we just walk down here, this is the beauty of it, you can investigate where you're going to be, what you're going to be doing. But just here look, I've spotted Linda's Fish and Chips and Linda's Cafe. So what I thought is Linda's Fish and Chips, could I send some fish and chips, wander down here to the seafront. And what I did notice on this green area, there's some table and chairs. So the beauty of dropping yourself down into Google Earth and having a look all the way around your route is you can plan your trip, what you're going to be doing, what you're going to be looking at. So if I just drop that back down and we actually zoom into Cullen up here, on my prompt sheet there's the square look in the Garmin Basecamp view. Hold my hand over the square, up pops 69 miles in brackets. So on the prompt sheet will now be written 69 miles, stop in Callum Square, fish and chips, stop and have dinner. So you can sort of interact between the two, the actual Garmin Basecamp and the Google Earth, for being able to see different things. So back in Google Earth now, looking down, you can follow your route all the way around. Another nice thing about Google Earth is they have these little photograph icons. Like here I've spotted Balvenie Castle. So if I actually just click on one of the, there you go, that's Balvenie Castle. So that's another point of interest that we'd probably like to see. And here look, Glenfiddich Distillery. If we click on one of those, it'll show you that there's the distillery there. So again, you can get your little man as you've been going around, drop him to have a look at this castle, drop him straight into there, Boom. There it is, there's the castle that you're going to be looking at. So I'd quite like to stop and have a little look at this castle. So if we just exit the street view, drop myself in just to have a look at the distillery as well. Drop yourself down. And there we are, the distillery. So yeah, this is going to be a point that we'd like to look at. So then what I would do, click back to the Basecamp view, find Dufftown, which this is in, and this is where the castle's going to be. Glenfiddich Distillery, look, Balvenie Castle, if you zoom right in. But I would hold my hand over where it's going to be. Boom. In brackets, 131 miles. On the crib sheet or the prompt sheet, once again, 131 miles, stop at Glenfiddich Distillery and Balvenie Castle. So as you can see, each sheet has its different individual info on it, and it tells me to stop and what we're going to be looking at on the route that we're going to be riding. And that looks to me just here that there's a car park, or here that we could park in. So once again, drop the little man in down to there. Let's see if there's the distillery in front of us. And there to my right, lovely big car park for us to stay at. So this is the beauty of interacting Google Earth with your Garmin Basecamp. Once you've saved it as a KML file, you can open it up and you can just wander along both of them together, seeing if there's nice things to stay, then using the Garmin Basecamp to get your mileage indicator, and hey ho, one prompt sheet is made.
Well, that's been of some use to you, and showing you a little bit of an insight into how I plan our routes and our tours while we're away, and the different sources that I use, and interacting with Google Earth to show all them little roads and different points of interest and things. So until later on this year, join us again. We've got lots of trips and lots of tours planned. So until then, everybody, ride safe, please, and thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.